Good to see you again. We are back for this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 5th day of August, 2020. I am Dan Kuntz, and here we go. Another warm one today, and then big changes coming later on this afternoon into tonight, and especially on Thursday. We still have that fire weather watch. It's going to go into effect tomorrow afternoon to tomorrow evening. Bad combination, wind, pretty strong winds and low relative humidity, although it's going to be a lot cooler Thursday than today. Big changes coming up weather-wise, and then we go right back to sunny and hot for the weekend. We'll get to those details in just a couple of minutes. Of course, yesterday was primary election day, and we got some numbers to throw your way. That'll be our top lead story, obviously, when we get to that. Some interesting numbers. Not a lot of choices to be made from the local level in Chelan and Douglas counties. Many incumbents were running unopposed or with just two people running for office. They automatically move forward to the November general election. But what decisions the voters did make, we'll pass along the preliminary numbers. Remember, there's a lot of counting still yet to be done, at least here in Chelan and Douglas counties and elsewhere. We got sports, Mariners. That's all I'm going to say. Got highlights for what it's worth. We'll also talk a little Seahawks and everything else you're used to. Mike Benitez got an opinion. We got the obscure holiday. We got today in history and some celebrity birthdays to get to you. It's clear and 69 outside of our studios, and let's begin where we always begin, our tour around the Wenatchee Valley in north central Washington. The cross camera begins our festivities. The sun peaked over the East Wenatchee bench at 5:45 this morning. It'll dip over the Wenatchee foothills at 8:28 tonight, 14 hours and 23 minutes of daylight. Relative humidity this morning right now is quite high. This is the time of the day when it's at its highest. It's about 60%, but we are in for a lot of wind and considerably cooler temperatures, as we mentioned before. But right now we are looking good, although we are baked a little on the dry side, and I hope nothing gets going fire-wise tomorrow. That would be extremely bad news. Camera number 2. Let's pay a visit to Leavenworth. Is that the Tumwater Canyon camera? It is. Thank you, Megan. Orchards are hanging in there, doing their job. Of course, the cherry harvest still continues into August. The higher elevations and the cooler climes, they can still harvest cherries right on into August, like in the Wenatchee Heights area and Stamilt and places like that. In the meantime, the peaches are starting to come off the tree, and apples are getting bigger and bigger. Still a little haze there in the foothills surrounding the Bavarian village of Leavenworth. Camera number 3. It's off to, that looks to be Badger Mountain. That's Badger Mountain pointing to the, I don't know, north, I'm guessing. That's as the crow flies. So we're looking up, it's Badger Mountain's camera, but we're looking to the north. Beautiful view there up on top of Badger Mountain. Incredible view, looking basically Omi Gardens would be a little bit to your left. Columbia River's down there somewhere. Columbia River hasn't gone anywhere, to my knowledge. If it does, that would be our top news story today. The Columbia River is missing, but it's not. It's fine. Nice view from Badger Mountain. Camera 4. White River up to Lake Wenatchee. I wonder why it's in black and white. That's odd. It should be light enough, but these cameras, if there's not enough light, they switch automatically to black and white so they can let in as much light as possible. And then when it gets light enough, they switch to color. And the reason I wanted to use this camera this morning, of course, is that they're fishing for sockeye at Lake Wenatchee. That started on Monday, and I understand there are a lot of boats. You can't quite see them because the vast majority of the boats that are out there trying to catch that precious sockeye are right at the very top of Lake Wenatchee, where the two rivers feed into Lake Wenatchee, the White River and the Little Wenatchee. That's where they flow in, and that's where the fish like to hang out, and they like to eat in the morning. So they're down there, they're in there, the boats are there. I wonder how the fishing's going. Eric, I believe, is going tomorrow. Eric Grandstrom will give us an update, I'm sure, on that. Good morning to our friends at Lake Wenatchee. And I think a little haze still from the fire that's located up to the north of there. It's burning in extremely rugged terrain. They can't get any bulldozers up there. It's mostly hand crews and water drops, but they're making good progress there on the Chickman fire. 5 minutes after the hour, let's look at some slides. Again, the fire weather watch begins tomorrow afternoon, goes through tomorrow evening. We're going to start with a hot and breezy stuff today, though. It is going to be hot and dry today and then real windy tomorrow. The winds are going to start picking up, by the way, later on this afternoon into the evening hours. This is when this cold front, and it's a strong cold front, will fly right through the area. It's not going to last very long, but while it's here, it's going to cool us down a lot and get us lots and lots of wind. So hot and dry today and then windy tomorrow. Let's go on to our next slide. And big changes, as we mentioned before, are coming our way with this strong cold front. One of the stronger cold fronts we've had this time of the year in quite some time. It's going to cloud us up. It's going to cool us down. It's going to make us quite windy, and there could even be a thunderstorm or two, or even a threat of showers. Not here in the Wenatchee Valley. Most of that would be confined to the upper part of our state near the Canadian border as far as thunderstorms are concerned, but can't rule out a pop-up here. So get ready for some big changes coming your way on Thursday. And our final slide, wind gusts. Now, they backed off on this just a little bit, but not much. If you remember the slide from yesterday, they said in the Wenatchee Valley, we're looking at wind gusts tomorrow between 35 and 40 miles an hour. Now they're thinking more like 30 to 35 miles an hour, which is still pretty strong. Of course, Ellensburg, it's always windy there. And these are their wind gusts, not sustained winds. The strongest winds are going to be late Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. But this cold front, as I mentioned before, it's very strong, but it's very fast. And it's going to be flying right through here. It's going to keep us fairly cool on Friday before we heat back up again. But the big story tomorrow is going to be the wind. And you combine that with low relative humidity. And again, any kind of fire that gets going is going to really take off, especially if it could be a grassland fire out in the Columbia Basin. I hope that doesn't happen. So those slides come courtesy of the National Weather Service, as does your forecast. And it comes from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, who gives your home a hug. I don't think we're going to get to 98. The National Weather Service has been overshooting our high temperatures for the last few days. We only hit 91 yesterday. They were thinking 96. 98, I don't know. I don't think so. More like probably 95. 66 for the overnight low tonight. Here's the big change coming overnight tonight. It starts tonight. The wind will be picking up as you're sleeping. Even though we're going to get down to 66 degrees, we'll have mostly clear skies. The wind will be picking up in intensity. You're going to wake up tomorrow to sunshine. As the day progresses, the clouds will be thickening up. We're only going to get to about 82 degrees on Thursday, so big cool down. And again, we'll see some clouds. Haven't had any significant cloud cover in quite some time. And quite windy tomorrow. It'll be breezy in the morning and downright windy in the afternoon. We're talking 14 to 22 mile an hour wind on Thursday morning. Gusts picking up to 30, 35 miles an hour late Thursday afternoon, right into Thursday night. Look at the overnight low, 57. It's been a long time since we had an overnight low in the 50s on Thursday night. Friday, the system will be gone. It'll be exiting Thursday night into early Friday morning. You're going to wake up to a beautiful morning Friday, although a bit on the cool side. And that cold air is going to be hanging around on Friday because that's what's going to happen, is ushering in that cold air. So 85 on Friday. So good chance to give your air conditioner a break. Will be Thursday and Thursday night and really in most of the day on Friday. They'll be warm right back up again. Warming trend begins to take place over the weekend. 88 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday, 93 Monday, up to 93 or 92 or so on Tuesday. A friendly reminder, it is still August. So big story, of course, is going to be the wind and the cool temperatures. This cold front's packing a pretty good punch. That's coming our way. I wouldn't mind having some more temperate weather, but the winds associated with it and the low relative humidity is why we have the fire weather watch. We'll keep a very close eye on that. 9 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. When we come back, elections, primary election results coming your way. You're watching Wake Up on Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I have fiber at home because it allows me to do a great job in my profession. It allows me to learn things that I need to learn at home. It allows my kids to hopefully one day be able to be educated because of what they learned online and what they learned from their teachers. And it allows us to have fun too as a family. And we're able to do a lot of things because of fiber internet. I'm Rudy, and my family learns with fiber.
Join NCW Life Channel for another night at the races Saturday at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. We're bringing you live coverage of Les Schwab Night, featuring Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models, Mountain Dew Junior Late Models, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars, the Plum Perfect Roadrunners, and the Bandoleros. Join us Saturday at 6 for all the action, live on NCW Live Channel, your local TV station.
"69 degrees. We'll see highs certainly in the mid-90s today. Significant cool down coming as that strong cold front begins to visit our area overnight tonight. We're going to have a lot of winds, considerably cooler temperatures, some cloud cover on Thursday. Nice and temperate and very pleasant on Friday. And then we heat right back up again over the weekend at 11 minutes after the hour. Here are your headlines. County auditors held their first tally of primary election votes last night. The top two vote getters, of course, in each race advanced to the general election in November, regardless of party. Although thousands of ballots remain uncounted as of Thursday night, Republican challenger Lauren Culp appears to be the person who's going to be taking on incumbent Democratic Governor Jay Inslee. Culp got 16.7% of the initial statewide count, and I think that's probably going to be insurmountable for the other challengers to Lauren Culp on the Republican side of the ticket. Governor Jay Inslee took almost 52% in a field of 36 gubernatorial candidates. For Chelan County Commissioner Dale England, who is the brother of retiring Commissioner Doug England, he leads the first round, followed by Brant Capel. Incumbent 12th District Representative Keith Gaynor has a commanding lead over Democratic challenger Adrian Moore, 63 to 36%. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse will face Tri-Cities Democrat Douglas McKinley and to keep his seat. And in the 8th District, incumbent Democrat Dr. Kim Schreier may face Republican Jesse Jensen. Jesse Jensen has 17% of the vote. Kim Schreier has 44% of the vote. Here are the numbers in Chelan County. 14,463 votes have been tallied. There's still 8,189 ballots yet to be counted. So the current turnout in Chelan County, 30.27%. Douglas County reports 6,223 ballots counted. There's about 7,000 ballots that have yet to be counted in Douglas County. So Douglas County's current turnout is 26%. Now, even with the outstanding ballots in both counties that still have to be counted, both counties will fall well short of the 60% turnout predicted by the respective county auditors. By the way, the next local update will come Friday afternoon. A 55-year-old Kennewick man was killed late Monday morning when he slid his Harley-Davidson motorcycle into the trailer of a potato truck. This happened in just north of Warden in Grant County. He slid his motorcycle in a potato truck, then he was struck by a semi.
She was born and raised mostly in the Lake Chelan Valley. Her parents moved.
Having some technical problems, apparently. I'll move forward with the story anyway. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said that James Bowles was riding his 1999 Harley motorcycle southbound on Road U Southeast about 11:20 in the morning when he came upon the slow-moving potato truck and trailer. He laid down his motorcycle, struck the left rear wheel of the trailer. That ejected him from the motorcycle and into the path of a 2007 Freightliner. Now, the driver of the potato truck, 38-year-old Oscar Cisneros of Mexico, was unaware of the accident, continued on, but returned to the scene when he was notified of what had happened. The sheriff's office said excessive speed contributed to the accident, which happened about 1.5 miles from Interstate 90. 13 people have died from COVID-19 in the Wenatchee Valley. That's 13 families left behind to mourn their loved ones. Dawn Nichols of East Wenatchee was the 10th person claimed by the virus in Chelan and Douglas counties. She died back on July 15th at the age of 59. She was a home care nursing assistant who worked with disabled clients around the Wenatchee Valley. Her children recently spoke to our own Jefferson Robbins about her life and the experience of losing a loved one to the pandemic.
She was born and raised mostly in the Lake Chelan Valley. Her parents moved over to Feenan Hill for a year or two when she was a teenager, but mostly up there, which is where we were both born. She worked hard for what she had. She was a super generous, giving person, and she was one of those people, if she had something and she may not need it and she knew somebody else needed it, she would just give it to them, and unfortunately sometimes that actually got her in trouble where she was taken advantage of, but that still never stopped her from being that caring, giving person.
Growing up, it was just mom and us, and we lived with our grandma, so Grandma watched us. Mom worked to make sure that we had what we needed. So it all goes back to, she was there for us whenever we needed her, and she took care of us. So she loved her work. That's pretty much all she did. She'd get a phone call for them asking her to come into work, and she's like, yep, yeah, I'll come into work, not a problem. And so she'd work, for 14 days straight sometimes, and, then get a couple extra days off. So, it benefited her by doing that too, because then she'd have more time when, I've got 4 days. What do you kids want to do?
Where are we going?
Let's go on a road trip.
Back in the end of June, a coworker had found out they had contracted the virus and got a positive test. So everyone in the house, including clients, got tested. And that testing happened on a Saturday. Friday, and she got her negative results on Saturday. That following Monday is when she actually started coming down with symptoms. And from there, it just kind of all spiraled. It was the 29th of June that she came down with symptoms. By the 1st of July, she ended up in the ER getting checked out because she was having the trouble breathing. She was having chest pains and all of those things. It was kind of like this up and down roller coaster of like she was doing really good, and then she would kind of almost overdo it and then end up kind of sick again. And then Tuesday the 7th is when she got taken in and started her hospitalization.
And she was there until her passing.
She was, yes.
How were you able to manage contact with her? Because I assume you wanted to stay some distance and the hospital wouldn't let you in her room, correct?
Correct.
But due to what was going on, there was really no contact with my mom. There was a couple text messages for a couple of days, but other than that, that was about it. We'd video chatted like a time or two between that positive test and when she was admitted. But for the most part, she was, again, that roller coaster of ill and feeling better. When she was better, we'd get to video and talk. Once she was hospitalized Tuesday night, the 7th, Wednesday morning, her lungs had started to fail. And so at that point, the doctors had talked to her and decided to intubate and put her on that ventilator. And at that point, she was sedated. So there was absolutely no contact from the 7th until the 15th when she passed. At least with our mother, we got constant updates from the doctors every day to let us know how she was doing and, all that kind of stuff. But with Mom, there was nothing from the morning of the 8th to the 15th.
Well, do you feel like there is something to be learned? What kind of message do you feel like you would want to impart to other folks whose family members might be in the same situation?
Being prepared for the unknown is kind of a big thing for your family. Make sure you are prepared for that instance of what if. My mom passed it so unexpectedly. She didn't have a will. She didn't have a power of attorney. She had nothing in place set for us. And it's, so much easier on the family having those end of life wishes, so that way your family is going to do the right things for you. Making sure you have medical documentation saying this is what I want in this instance, because that phone call at 6:20, hey, we've been doing CPR for 10 minutes. What do you want to do? Calling me as her daughter. That's not something a child should have to decide for their parent. So we had to make the decision on whether to continue CPR or let her go. And that's something I think that's going to live with us for the rest of our lives.
Well, it was 25 minutes.
Well, originally we were told 10, and then she's like, never mind, I recalculated, it's been 25. That tells you how determined that doctor was to try to bring her back. Not being able to say those goodbyes, not being able to do that while they're still alive is hard.
Powerful stuff indeed. Other COVID-related news, Okanagan County health officials are trying to track down as many people as they can who attended a camping event north of the town of Medhow. This happened last month. Let them know they may have been exposed to COVID-19. Okanagan County Public Health says the event on Friday, July 24th, on Saturday, July 25th on private property involved more than 100 people from all over the state. The community health director, Lori Jones, said there were people in attendance who should have been self-isolating. Anybody who was at the camping event is being asked to contact Okanagan Public Health at 509-422-7140. There's a moratorium on evictions in the state of Washington, at least through October 15th, but about 17% of Washingtonians missed their rent payments last month. Now, some CARES Act rent assistance money is on the way to help renters in a crisis. Oliver Crane is the housing programs coordinator for the city of Wenatchee, and he said Chelan and Douglas counties have applied for and expect to receive approximately $1.2 million. Now, the program aims to prevent evictions by paying up to 3 months of past due, current, and future rent for eligible participants. Rent assistance is limited to 3 months, and the program will end at the end of the year. About 70 small businesses in north central Washington have received Working Washington grants. That's financial aid flowing from the National CARES Act to help prevent jobs, help to preserve jobs, I should say, amid the pandemic. In the latest round of grants awarded through the State Commerce Department, businesses with up to 10 employees in 13 counties received a total of more than $286,000 to cover the costs, including rent, utility, bills, supplies, inventory, and other operating expenses. Another round of funding is expected soon. Commerce expects to eventually distribute more than $9.7 million to 1,500 small employers nationwide. A couple of news items from the Upper Valley to pass along to you. A falling boulder, wow, pretty good size one, looks like to me, damaged the headworks of the Icicle Irrigation Canal on Sunday, and that reduced the water flow to more than 3,000 customers in the Upper Wenatchee Valley. Managers with the Icicle-Pashaston Irrigation District said the rock cracked the concrete ditch and forced a temporary shutdown until the boulder could be dynamited and the walls of the canal fixed with new cement. The district draws water from the high alpine lakes to supply orchardists in the Leavenworth, Pashaston, and Dryden areas. By the way, the canal network should begin to flow at full pressure beginning today. And finally, a section of Icicle Road near Leavenworth is going to be reduced to 1 lane on weekdays near the Snow Lakes trailhead that begins this morning, by the way, and it'll last until September 9th. The city of Leavenworth, Icicle-Pashaston Irrigation District, and Trout Unlimited. They're installing new water main line, a fish screen at the city's water supply diversion, and they're also making fish passage improvements along Icicle Creek. Traffic between mile 4.7 and milepost 4.9 will be limited to 1 lane on weekdays. Flagger controlled traffic. The projects are designed to improve city water supply and enhance fish recovery. And that's a look at what's making news at 23 minutes after the hour. Obviously, we'll have more election results and perhaps some reaction tonight when we have the news with Grant Olson at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with a preview. Here's Grant.
Good morning, Dan. On the NCW Life Evening News, we'll have complete primary election results from around the area. I'll have your much cooler and windier north central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will highlight Game 2 of the 3-game series with the Mariners and the Angels in sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
I'll give you a quick preview of how Game 2 of the Mariner and Angels series went last night. Not well if you're a Mariner fan. Get a hold of us if you have a news tip or you want to drop us a note and say hi. Email us is a great way to do it. news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. You can also go to our Facebook page, drop us a line via Facebook Messenger, or if you go to our website, ncwlife.com, our homepage, there's a contact us icon at the very top of the screen. Click on it and send us a note. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, the aforementioned sports. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The response that I saw from Works reminded me about what a great company this has always been.
While some businesses have probably just tried to hunker down and survive, Blair and the team at Works have said this is an opportunity to become even better, to give more value to our members. I think it's amazing.
Blair's attitude is safety first.
I just really appreciated feeling like I wasn't forgotten about.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
25 minutes after the hour, let's talk about sports. Mike Trout took some time off. He gets to do that when you have a baby. If his first child, as a matter of fact, for Mike Trout, with his wife Jessica. A look at little Beckham Aaron Trout. He was born July 30th, a baby boy, 7 pounds, 10 ounces, 20 3/4 inches long. Daddy came back to the fold to play baseball last night, and what did he do? He did this.
Nola setting up outside. It's a breaking ball hammered out toward left center field. Hit well. Kyle Lewis back. That's gone. Big fly for Mike Trout. Welcome back. How's the song go? 1-0 Halos.
And the first inning, home run power continues for Trout. That's probably for Beckham. I'm sure that was. Homers in his first at bat, first day back. 407 feet for Trout. Uncle. He is unbelievable. Breaking ball, stays out over plate, same jumping on those secondary pitches. And what a good level swing for Trout. His second home run. Papa Trout going yard.
That dinger was one of 2 first-inning home runs given up by Justin Dunn, who unfortunately pitches for the Mariners. The Angels went on for the 5-3 victory. Dunn threw 37 pitches. 37 pitches in the first inning. He only made 4 innings total. He allowed 3 runs, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks. Manager Scott Service said he was hoping that Mike Trout wouldn't come back to form on his first day back.
Trout got him. I was hoping that now that Trout is a dad, maybe the dad bod might have snuck up on him, but that was not the case, obviously. And then, fell behind the count a little bit. I think after he got through the first inning, started to settle down a little bit, got the double play in the second. I thought he threw the ball really well in the third and fourth inning. But, when he threw about 37 pitches in the first inning, it kind of cuts his night a little bit short there. So after that, I thought our guys in the bullpen threw the ball extremely well tonight. Even Swanee, he left one breaking ball up again, and that's the one that Fletcher jumped on. But had to go to a number of guys, and I was really happy how those guys threw the ball. A lot of good signs there.
How about a web gem from Kyle Lewis? Made a great play in the top of the 7th inning, robbing Jason Castro of a home run.
2-0 here. Cranked deep center field, straight away. Lewis at the wall. He makes the catch. Kyle Lewis, another moment for him. 2 down here in the 7th.
Well, Kyle's really athletic, and I was kind of, he was jumping up over the wall in Anaheim on the last road trip, and I said, you're going to get a few of those this year, and he goes, oh, I know, I will. So Kyle's played it really well. Obviously, can't ask for much more. What he's done early in the season, offensively, defensively, he's in tune to the game. And he's playing with a smile on his face. That's the biggest thing. These guys, as they learn and go along, there are going to be some struggles, but need to enjoy the process, what we're going through. Evan White, I thought his at bat there late in the game, much better. He need a little luck once in a while too, and he'll turn. It'll turn. He's a good player, and he keeps working at it, so he's going to be fine.
Dylan Moore led the way offensively for the Mariners. He had a double in the 3rd and a solo home run in the 7th.
Down the line, and gone, a home run. Dylan Moore makes it a 5-2 ball game. His second homer of the season. RBI number 4. Just kept it fair. Nicely done.
Dan, you and I were talking about he has some pop, and I think that actually ends up getting in on him a little bit. It was a pretty good fastball that he hit in on his hands, but still able to hit it out of the ballpark. We'll take a look at the swing. That's a pretty good pitch.
It was bearing in on me, the fastball. I knew he had a good one, and it started in and just kept running in, so I just tried to keep my hands inside as much as possible, and I was just kind of reacting to where the ball was. And I I got him as far in as I could possibly get him, and the ball stayed straight and no hook, and that was the only way that it was going out.
Mariners have a 4-game losing streak going now. They'll try and snap it tonight. They got the Angels at T-Mobile Park. Marco Gonzalez, our old friend, will face Julio Teheran, 6:40 first pitch at T-Mobile Park. Let's take a look at the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard from last night, shall we? George Springer's 2-run double highlighted a 5-run 5th inning. Houston knocked off Arizona 8-2. Alex Cora also went 3 for 3 with a solo home run. The Astros improved to 6-4. Stephen Piscotty's walk-off grand slam home run in the bottom of the 9th gave Oakland a 5-1 win over Texas, so the A's lead over the Astros is now a half game. In the AL West, Seattle slips to last place. They are 3.5 games back. As the Seahawks begin training camp, several questions loom regarding the health of big players on offense. Rashad Penny, as you know by now, has been rehabbing a knee injury that he suffered late last year. Will Dissly, he's been trying to come back. He had a patella tear. Hopefully he's on the mend. Coach Pete Carroll says Penny is a wait and see. The running back will be coming into camp a little bit later on this week.
He'll come in Thursday for Friday, and he'll start his process of reconnecting with us on Friday. We just thought it would be better. He missed a week in transition that we didn't want to, because he would have had to sit around the days right here, right now. We'd like to go ahead and hopefully we made a good decision there. We're anxious to get him back. He's working out really hard. The reports are really strong that he's doing well. But we have not had him in our building for a while now, so this will be our first chance.
Coach Pete is much more confident that Will Dissly, the tight end, will be coming back and coming back soon. He said the former University of Washington grad worked feverishly to get back with the team and contribute this year.
He worked out in LA, was down there. The group that he worked out with told me that he had nine months with them. He spent 9 months working out on a real rigid schedule. He didn't miss 1 minute of one day in 9 straight months. They said they've never seen anybody do that before, and the benefits of it is that he comes in and passes his physical. So we're thrilled about Will's process. But then again, because of the way he's been, I'm not surprised that somebody would say that he's been the hardest worker and the most diligent, grittiest guy that they've ever seen come through the program. So that means that we'll still take care of Will as we start camp, but yet he did pass his physical. We'll look after him and make sure that we don't come along too fast. Will's a really great product of learning and the system and all that. He knows what he's doing, and he'll be a factor as soon as we cut him loose. But in the meantime, we want to make sure and take care of him.
We're going to hear from Coach Pete Carroll tomorrow about how excited he is to have safety Jamal Adams on the team and what he expects from second-year wide receiver DK Metcalf. By the way, Seahawks are 39 days away from their first game of the season against Atlanta. In Atlanta, we hope. Those are just some of the games that people are playing. On this Wednesday, the 5th day of August, it is National Underwear Day today. There you go. Boxers, briefs, panties, tighty-whities. What do you prefer? An unfurnished basement, perhaps? Always wear clean underwear. You never know. That's what Mom would say. You probably should wear fresh underwear on a regular basis. Some people think underwear, even though you don't really see it unless you're lounging around the house, some people think underwear can be a fashion statement, because the big trend in underwear a couple of years ago was skin-colored underwear, nude colors. You walk around the house with underwear that matches the color of your skin, and people go, "You ain't got no clothes on." Not the case. The average woman owns, this is a survey that was just taken by somebody who knows about underwear. I don't. The average woman owns 20 pairs of underwear for everyday use and 14 pairs of underwear for special occasions. I have no underwear that I wear on special occasions. Happy National Underwear Day today. Celebrate with someone you love. Today in history. This is the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower departing from Southampton, England, on its way to North America alongside its sister ship, the Speedwell. Here we go, off to America. 400 years ago today, They made it about 5 hours and the speed wells sprung a leak, and they had to go back to Dartmouth, the port there, when the speed well sprung a leak and they had to start all over again. They fixed the speed well. They tried again, like a month later, and here we go again, and the speed well sprung another leak, and then it sprung another leak. And I'm no expert on boating. I understand, however, that the general concept is that you don't want your boat or ship or whatever it is to spring leaks, because then they sink. They eventually ditched the speed well and said, "We'll just all take the Mayflower." It was a false start, but they tried 400 years ago today, August 5th, 1620. During the Civil War on this date, August 5th, 1861. Hey, wars are expensive, man. They ain't cheap. In order to help pay for the war effort, the United States government levied the very first income tax. It was the Revenue Act of 1861. 3% of your income, if you made over $800 a year, 3% of your income was taxed and sent off to the Union so they could pay for the war. By the way, it was rescinded in 1872, and then it came back again. Yeah, the very first income tax, 159 years ago today. I'm not sure how the Civil War came out. I'm going to do some research on that and get back to you. And this is the 58th anniversary of the death of Marilyn Monroe. Actress Marilyn Monroe found dead at her home, apparently of a drug overdose. There are still those who believe that Marilyn Monroe was homicided by people who wanted her dead for reasons unknown. Anyway, Marilyn Monroe died on this date in 1962. It's finally some birthdays. We lost Neil Armstrong about 8 years ago. He would have been 90 years old today. Neil Armstrong started out as an engineer, became a pilot, eventually an astronaut, and of course he is the first man to walk on the moon. And since there is no weather on the moon, his iconic footprint is still there exactly as it was in the summer of 1969. Neil Armstrong, born in the state of 1930. And when I came across this factoid yesterday, it made me feel old. There's Lonnie Anderson, always be known as the receptionist Jennifer Marlowe on the great sitcom of the 70s and 80s, WKRP in Cincinnati. Lonnie Anderson is 75 years old. Wow. Told you it'd make you feel old. Gonna take a break. When we come back, Mike McNaughty's got an opinion. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment. So my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombards Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly, sparkling water. Crack a smile.
This is Mike, Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I really made a decision as a mental health professional and for someone who provides treatment to domestic abuse perpetrators. I'm going to deal with issues of respectful relationships with the adolescent young men who come to me for counseling. Now, I'm going to do this with each one of them. I ask each one of them, what kind of man do you want to be? Someone who respects women and children, who treats them with care and consideration, or something else? Now, of course, they all say they want to be decent, good men, but honestly, we have to help our young men and boys to fully understand what it means to be a decent and respectful man in this society. Yes, we do. This is Mike, Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
Bring the whole family to Sirensong Farms. Take in the beauty of 10,000 lavender plants and enjoy a bottle of Sirensong wine. Our farm is located in Chelan at 7 Tunnel Hill Road on Highway 97A between the Knaps Tunnel and Bear Mountain. Come for a visit, picnic on the lawn, or stroll through our lavender fields, rose garden, vineyards, olive grove, and pumpkin patch. Check out the chickens, honeybees, and more. Things are just getting going and growing at Sirensong Farms. Open Thursday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the Doghouse?
At Earthwise Pet, we take an all-natural approach to wellness and nutrition. Our professional certified groomers were trained by the best in the Pacific Northwest. Our staff here at Earthwise Pet are all certified in pet nutrition. We are here to help you select the perfect food, supplement, and anything else you may need to make sure your pet is living its best and most healthy life. Earthwise Pet, Nutrition Center and Wellness Spa. Online or in the store, we are here for you.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
And we are back on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, the morning after primary election day. And we wanted to give you an update on that. Of course, the top 2 vote getters move on to the November 3rd general election regardless of party affiliation. There are thousands of ballots that still remain to be counted, but it looks like Republican challenger Lauren Culp will be the one taking on incumbent Democratic Governor Jay Inslee. He's got 16.7% of the initial statewide count, and that looks like it's going to hold up. Inslee took almost 52% of the vote in a field of 36 gubernatorial candidates. For Chelan County Commissioner Dale England, brother of retiring Commissioner Doug England, leads in the first round. Again, there are a lot of votes yet to be counted in District 3 in Chelan County. He's followed by Brent Capel, by the way. Incumbent 12th District Representative Keith Gaynor has a commanding lead over Democratic challenger Adrian Moore for his seat in the House of Representatives. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse looks like he'll be taking on Tri-Cities Democrat Douglas McKinley to keep his seat. In the 8th District, Democrat Dr. Kim Schreier, the incumbent, may face Republican Jesse Jensen. Jesse Jensen polling 17% of the vote. Kim Schreier, 44% of the vote. Some numbers from Chelan and Douglas County. In Chelan County, 14,463 votes have been tallied. There's an additional 8,189 ballots yet to be counted. So the current turnout in Chelan County, 30.27%. Douglas County reports 6,223 ballots counted. They have about 7,000 ballots left to count for a current turnout of 26%. Now, even with the outstanding ballots in both counties are going to fall well short of the 60% turnout that was predicted by their respective county auditors. By the way, the next local update for Chelan and Douglas counties will come Friday afternoon. 13 people have died from COVID-19 in the Wenatchee Valley. That's 13 families left behind to mourn their loved ones. Dawn Nichols of East Wenatchee was the 10th person whose life was lost because of COVID-19. She died back in July 15th at the age of 59. She was a home care nursing assistant who worked with the disabled around the Wenatchee Valley. Her children recently spoke with our own Jefferson Robbins about her life and the experience of losing a loved one to COVID-19.
She was born and raised mostly in the Lake Chelan Valley. Her parents moved over to Queen Anne Hill for a year or two when she was a teenager, but mostly up there, which is where we were both born. She worked hard for what she had. She was a super generous, giving person, and she was one of those people, if she had something and she may not need it and she knew somebody else needed it, she would just give it to them, and unfortunately sometimes that actually got her in trouble where she was taken advantage of, but that still never stopped her from being that caring, giving person.
Growing up, it was just mom and us, and we lived with our grandma, so grandma watched us, mom worked to make sure that we had what we needed. So it all goes back to, she was there for us whenever we needed her, and she took care of us. She loved her work. That's pretty much all she did. She'd get a phone call for them asking her to come into work, and she's like, yep, yeah, I'll come into work, not a problem. And so she'd work, for 14 days straight sometimes, and, then get a couple extra days off. So, it benefited her by doing that too, because then she'd have more time when, I've got 4 days. What do you kids want to do?
Where are we going?
Let's go on a road trip.
Back in the end of June, a coworker had found out they had contracted the virus and got a positive test. So everyone in the house, including clients, got tested. And that testing happened on a Saturday. Friday, and she got her negative results on Saturday. That following Monday is when she actually started coming down with symptoms. And from there, it just kind of all spiraled. It was the 29th of June that she came down with symptoms. By the 1st of July, she ended up in the ER getting checked out because she was having the trouble breathing. She was having chest pains and all of those things. It was kind of like this up and down roller coaster of she was doing really good, and then she would kind of almost overdo it and then end up kind of sick again. And then Tuesday the 7th is when she got taken in and started her hospitalization.
And she was there until her passing?
She was, yes.
How were you able to manage contact with her? Because I assume you wanted to stay some distance and the hospital wouldn't let you in her room, correct?
Correct.
But due to what was going on, there was really no contact with my mom. There was a couple text messages for a couple of days, but other than that, that was about it.
We'd video chatted a time or two between that positive test and when she was admitted. But for the most part, she was, again, that roller coaster of ill and feeling better. When she was better, we'd get to video and talk. Once she was hospitalized Tuesday night, the 7th, Wednesday morning, her lungs had started to fail. And so at that point, the doctors had talked to her and decided to intubate and put her on that ventilator. And at that point, she was sedated. So there was absolutely no contact from the 7th until the 15th when she passed.
At least with our mother, we got constant updates from the doctors every day to let us know how she was doing and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But with Mom, there was nothing from the morning of the 8th to the 15th.
Well, do you feel like there is something to be learned? I mean, what kind of message do you feel like you would want to impart to other folks whose family members might be in the same situation?
Being prepared for the unknown is kind of a big thing for your family. Make sure you are prepared for that instance of what if. You know, my mom passed it so unexpectedly. She didn't have a will. She didn't have a power of attorney. She had nothing in place set for us. And it's, you know, so much easier on the family having those end of life wishes, so that way you know your family is going to do the right things for you. Making sure you have medical documentation saying this is what I want in this instance, because that phone call at 6:20, hey, we've been doing CPR for 10 minutes. What do you want to do? Calling me as her daughter. That's not something a child should have to decide for their parent. You know, so we had to make the decision on whether to continue CPR or let her go. And that's something I think that's going to live with us for the rest of our lives.
Well, it was 25 minutes.
Well, originally we were told 10, and then she's like, never mind, I recalculated, it's been 25. I mean, that tells you how determined that doctor was to try to bring her back. You know, not being able to say those goodbyes, not being able to do that while they're still alive is hard.
Powerful stuff indeed. Thank you, Jefferson, for that story. And we want to wish the Nichols family send along our condolences. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, one more little quick tour around the valley and that all-important weather forecast. We got big changes coming later on tonight and then tomorrow. It's all coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Your valued downtown businesses are being hit hard. COVID-19 isn't going away. So our community needs a pathway to not only safely reopen the economy, but keep it open. To develop that pathway, we need accurate information on the number of COVID-19 infections in our region. Our healthcare providers and community leaders came together to launch testing that will provide critical data we need to reopen businesses and keep our community safely open. Testing is voluntary and the results are completely confidential. More information on that is on the way in your mailbox. This ask is simple, and with your help has potentially huge positive outcomes for our community. Helping each other is something we treasure in this place we call home. Will you help?
Save Mart remains open to serve our community with its huge selection of furniture, mattresses, and appliances. The Parts and Service Department is ready to make sure you have what you need to keep your household functioning during these unusual times. Wenatchee Powersports is open, featuring sales, parts, and service for Yamaha, KTM, and Polaris products. See Wenatchee Powersports on GS Center Road for all your powersports needs. Green Motion e-bikes are fun for the whole family. Starting under $1,000, there's an e-bike for all riders. Green Motion e-bikes, now open on 7th South Wenatchee Avenue.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker, so stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
And we are back. We have a few minutes left. I thought maybe now that the sun is getting up and starting to heat us up a little bit, we'll take one more quick little tour around the valley. We begin with our cross cam. That's lead off, tilted up, zoomed back. Beautiful view Badger Mountain and Birch Mountain are dominating your views to the left and the center, respectively. Sunny Slope, Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, the mighty Columbia River. Very pleasant morning right now. Again, major weather changes coming our way. Camber 2, let's see what we're looking at. That's Leavenworth again. Good morning to the Bavarian village of Leavenworth. Always a pleasure to see you. I hope the Leavenworth businesses are doing okay through this pandemic. Leavenworth's a beautiful town to visit. I hope you're hanging in there, folks. We're thinking about you. Camber 3 is up to Badger Mountain again, and we're pretty sure that's pointed to the north. You can see the waving wheat there, which sure smells sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. If I sing any more, we have to pay the estate of Rogers and Hammerstein, and I really don't want to do that. And finally, camera number 4. There we go. It's off to Lake Wenatchee. That's the Two Rivers camera. Zoomed in a little bit, looking for the boaters. They're out. Oh, they're there. Yeah, you can see them. And there's a lot of boats. Wow. We mentioned this before. Sockeye salmon season is a pretty rare thing around these parts at Lake Wenatchee, but they count them all up through the passages, and they say, hey, if there's enough sockeye, you can go get them. And the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife opened up Lake Wenatchee for sockeye salmon on Monday morning at daybreak. And boy, the anglers are out there in force looking for that sockeye. And they all gather at the top of the lake where the Little Wenatchee River and the White River empty into Lake Wenatchee. And that's where the fish like to hang around. There are other little pockets where the streams empty into the river. You can't fish for sockeye at the bottom of Lake Wenatchee. There's just too many boats getting in and out of the state park dock, which is the only public dock that you can use on Lake Wenatchee. So go get them, fishermen. Have fun. Hope you get lots and lots of good sockeye or whatever you're limited to. I think you're limited to a couple. I can't remember. Anyway, have fun up there, up at Lake Wenatchee. All right, let's take a look at those slides one more time for the National Weather Service. Let you know what we're dealing with. Again, there's the fire weather watch we talked about. Going to be very windy within the confines of that yellow blotch that you see on the screen. That's the fire weather watch. It starts Thursday afternoon, goes through Thursday evening. It's the combination of wind and low relative humidity. Normally you need 3 things. You need wind, low relative humidity, and heat. Well, heat's not going to be the problem. We're going to cool way down tomorrow, but the winds are going to be big time issue on Thursday. It's actually going to start picking up in intensity late this afternoon into the early evening hours. It's going to be hot and breezy today. It's for almost everybody, especially later on this afternoon. You get into those Cascade Gaps and up in the Okanagan Valley, the west to southwest winds are going to start picking up in intensity. Basically 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we could even see a fire break come out today. And boy, that would be even worse because the winds is going to pick right up and get going. We have big changes coming all over the north central Washington region on Thursday. The skies will be clouding up a little bit. Again, this strong cold front's going to fly right into the area. It begins overnight tonight, and that's when the winds are going to be picking up. When you get into those lee of the Cascades, those gaps, it picks up in intensity. More wind and more wind, and temperatures are going to be a lot cooler. There's your wind gust forecast. Not quite as windy as they were predicting yesterday, but still windy enough for most people. Take a look at where you live, and you can see the arrow direction of the wind. And these are wind gusts, not sustained winds, wind gusts. But here in the Wenatchee Valley, 30 to 35 mile an hour wind gusts on Thursday afternoon. Yay. That's windy enough for me. So, yeah, big changes are coming. We're going to have one more day of sunny and hot weather from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at it. Going to be sunny and warm today. I think 98 might be a little optimistic. We only got to 91 yesterday. But still, it's going to be plenty warm for most folks. Not a lot of wind this morning. Picks up a little bit in the afternoon. A west wind about 10 miles an hour. Then the winds are really going to get going tonight. An overnight low of 66 degrees with clear skies. Northwest wind will be about 11 to 15 miles an hour. We'll pick up with gusts around 20 miles an hour overnight tonight. Thursday, you'll wake up to some sunshine and breezy conditions as the day progresses. The clouds will be rolling on in with this pretty strong cold front. We'll only get up to the lower 80s, so that's what we're talking about, cold air coming down from the Gulf of Alaska, and it's going to be windy on Thursday. It'll be breezy Thursday morning, about 14 to 22 miles an hour, gusts above 30 to 35 miles an hour Thursday into Thursday night, sustained winds late in the afternoon into Thursday evening, sustained winds of right around 25 to 30 miles an hour. Look at the overnight low, 57 degrees. That's chilly. Now that cold air is going to be hanging around. On Thursday night, the cold front leaves, but it's going to leave some of that cool air behind, which is why we're only going to be in the mid-80s. On Friday, I can live with that, and then we warm right back up again on the weekend. Everybody have a good Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.